Hello everyone, my name is Jim McGillivray and this is the Pipe Box, your source for all things piping. If you find this video useful, please like it, and please also subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos just like this. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to look at, listen to, and talk about a bagpipe that is nearly 200 years old. I will have as a guest Matt MacIsaac, who will demonstrate this bagpipe for us, and he and I will chat about its characteristics. A little bit about Donald MacDonald first. Donald MacDonald was born in Skye, in Scotland, in 1767, and he died around 1840. We know he was making pipes as early as 1803, and he continued to make them until the day he died. Pipe makers today look at the few remaining examples of Donald MacDonald bagpipes and they marvel at his workmanship and his style as a pipe maker. Donald MacDonald was also a very significant compiler of pipe music. He was a groundbreaker in writing pipe music in staff notation, and he published a very influential collection of pibroch and also light music. He also left an unpublished manuscript. He's a significant pipe maker not just for the quality of his instruments. Donald MacDonald is one of the major reasons why pipes look the way they do today. Hugh Robertson, who lived a little bit earlier, he died in 1822, he established the more modern look to pipes later in his career. By the modern look, I mean combing, the comb sections on a drone, the rounded bead sections, mounts in particular places and in particular styles. These traits were developed by Hugh Robertson and then picked up and carried on by Donald MacDonald well into the 19th century. Hugh Robertson made the prize pipe for the Edinburgh competitions for many years, and Donald MacDonald won one of Hugh Robertson's prize pipes. So there is almost no doubt that Hugh Robertson had a major influence on Donald MacDonald. Donald MacDonald made the prize pipe for the Edinburgh competition, taking over after Hugh Robertson. He was the official pipe maker to the Highland Society of London. As such, his instruments influenced a lot of younger makers of the day. For example, the sprawling Glen family, who would divide into two families, the J&R Glen pipe maker family and the Alexander and David Glen side of the family, both prolific pipe makers in Edinburgh and both very much influenced by Donald MacDonald. They developed, again after Hugh Robertson and Donald MacDonald, what we refer to as the Edinburgh-style of bagpipe. This consists of very narrow sticks, very delicate mounts and features, quite elegant, what we call a parrot's beak cut projecting mount, which I will show you in a few moments. These features came right down through Hugh Robertson into Donald MacDonald's pipe making, and we see those influence today in pipes that look pretty much the way Donald MacDonald made them many years ago. So let's have a little tour of a Donald MacDonald bagpipe. Here is what a Donald MacDonald bagpipe looks like. This bagpipe is nearly 200 years old, probably made in the 1830s, towards the end of Donald MacDonald's career. The bagpipe is made in Caribbean cocuswood. The ivory material is almost certainly marine ivory, likely made from walrus tusk. As you can see, this bagpipe displays what we call the Edinburgh look. The sticks are fairly narrow. The design on the mounts is quite minimalist. The ferrules have a couple of very small scribe lines and a very small bead. The projecting mounts display what we call a parrot's beak cut bead. In other words, that small lip below the larger part of the projecting mount is cut flat on the top, like a parrot's beak. That was very typical of the Edinburgh school. The stalks are narrow and straight-sided. The chanter is quite large in the hands. It's thick. The holes are quite large and quite far apart. And when I blew a reed in my mouth with this chanter, it pitched at just around B flat. There have been some repairs to this instrument. As you can see, this drone here has had some invisible whipping done to it. It's very hard to match the color of the wood with invisible whipping when you're using cocuswood. So the invisible whipping isn't always quite as invisible as we would like it. Another thing characteristic of pipes of this era are fairly short tuning pins, shorter than we see in today's pipes, and the hemped tenon part is quite long as well. So that's what a Donald MacDonald bagpipe looks like. But what does a Donald MacDonald bagpipe sound like? We're going to find out. For this, I've enlisted the help of my friend Matt MacIsaac. Matt hails originally from Nova Scotia here in Canada. He's a multi-instrumentalist steeped in the Cape Breton music tradition. Matt is currently Director of Piping at St. Andrew's College here in Aurora, Ontario, a boys' school for grades 5 to 12. I spent nearly 20 years in the same job. Matt and I work together now. Matt is also just about the finest piper I know. Matt will give us a tune on the Donald MacDonald Bagpipes, and then we'll have a chat. was Matt MacIsaac. I have Matt with me now. Matt graciously consented to play the McDonald pipes for us. He was able to get them going in a matter of about 10 minutes. Matt, could you tell us first what tunes you played?
Sure. I started with a lovely slow air that I learned from the playing of Dr. Angus McDonald called Farewell My Love, and then went into a jig called Lady in the Bottle, and then another jig called House on the Hill.
Very good. Good tunes they were. So, your first impression of a set of almost 200-year-old Donald MacDonald pipes when you put them in your bagpipe, put your own reeds in them, you played with your own stocks and your own chanter. Mm-hmm. What was your first impression of the pipes?
The first impression was just picking them up, how tiny they are. Like the projecting mounts are really small, and I thought the ones on my pipes were fairly small, but these are really delicate. And then when I started playing, how fast they came in. Like I blew up, I tuned them together, and they were bang on in a matter of seconds. A small click is all you need to kind of lock the tenors in, and I think I was just kind of blown away by a 200-year-old instrument that locks in just as well as anything that you hear today.
Yeah, so steadiness was not a problem.
Not at all, no.
And how did they tune in the right places?
Yeah, they seem to tune just about where modern pipes go.
Yeah, that's pretty much where they were tuning.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and all the reeds. I didn't change anything about the reeds that I had in my own pipes.
And so how did you find them tonally?
They were bigger. They were more robust than I thought they'd be for such a small set. The tenors especially were nice and full. The bass wasn't quiet. It was probably maybe the same as the tenors, the same volume level kind of thing, but they all worked so nicely together. It was a really nice, it was a lovely blend of them together. Yeah,
as I could hear as you were recording, I could hear it was a very seamless sound between the bass and the tenors, but yeah. a very robust sound as well. Could you see a set like this being played at top levels against any bagpipe?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, the only difference, if you had, a blind test, and again, I wouldn't pick them out as being 200 years old.
Right.
Until you see them, and then they obviously look a little bit different, but yeah, it's a really nice set of drums.
Very good. Very good. Well, thank you very much, Matt. I appreciate you taking the time to do this, and it's been great to have you on the Pipe Box.
Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome. So, there is a tour of one of the oldest sets of pipes that I've ever had through the shop. Certainly one of the most significant sets. Donald MacDonald bagpipes are quite rare, and while this set is not stamped, it lines up beautifully with stamped sets that are in existence. I ran photos past two very knowledgeable vintage bagpipe colleagues, and we all agreed on the identity of this instrument. As you saw, it looks enough like a modern bagpipe that there could be more out there being played by folk who just think they have an old Glen bagpipe, so keep your eyes open. From the Pipe Box, I'm Jim McGillivray. Please subscribe. Until next time, good piping.